So if you have a business or you're planning on starting a business and you're going to be using a trade name, which is a business name that's different from your personal legal name, then you need to register that business name with your local corporate registry. At least where I'm from, there could be exceptions in other parts of the world, but I guess I'm specifically speaking to people in Canada. You need to register that business name, typically with the provincial corporate registry. And there are a number of reasons why you need to do that. Number one is for legitimacy. If you are just operating using a business name, a trade name that's not actually registered, you're kind of illegitimate. And a lot of people won't know or won't care, but if they ever look you up and see that your business isn't actually registered, that's not a good look. So if you actually want to use that business name, just go about registering it. It's not that complicated, it's not that expensive, just do it through the corporate registry in your province, or in the US, that's probably state governed corporate registries. The second reason to actually register your business name is so that that name is protected. And now that level of protection can vary from region to region. Where I live, if you register a business name, no one else can take that business name or anything that's really similar to it. Whereas in other regions, I know that they have less protection and there can be duplicates or names that are pretty similar. But if you do live in a region where registering your business name gives you protection, then that's another really good reason to register it. Because what happens if you're operating your business under a business name that you never actually registered, and then you find out that someone actually has registered that business name? There could be issues there. You know, they could report you for using a business name that not only isn't registered, but is using one that they've registered. You know, there could be some legal implications there. So it's a way to protect you from other people using that name, and also making sure that the name is actually available for use. The next reason, and a really important one as well, is typically you can't set up a business bank account under a business name unless you actually have the rights to that business name, meaning you've actually registered it with your corporate registry, either as a corporation or an unincorporated business. Because typically when you go to a bank and you ask to set up a business account, they're going to ask for proof of incorporation or proof of business registration so that they can actually tie that business name to the business bank account. If you can't prove that, then they're probably not going to give you the rights to a bank account under that name. And I have seen cases of this before where someone was advertising their business under a certain business name that they didn't actually register, and then their clients would write them checks for work done made out to their business name. And then when they try to go to the bank to deposit that check, they can't, because there's no business bank account for a business that was never actually registered. So that's a really important one as well. I know a lot of businesses these days don't receive checks, but there is the odd time where you will, or some businesses receive them regularly. So in order to get that business bank account under your business name, your trade name, you need to actually register it first in most cases. And then the final reason would just be to avoid punishment. This can vary a lot region to region, but where I live, there can be severe punishment if you are advertising a business under a business name or a trade name that you don't have registered, or that is a little bit different than the one you have registered. So I know someone who just received a letter of warning from the provincial government because he was advertising his business name under a name that he didn't actually have registered, and it was warning him that he needed to start advertising under the name that is actually registered, or there could be up to $10,000 in fines or 6 months in prison. So it was a pretty stern warning. I know, I doubt that they actually put people in prison for 6 months for doing that around here, but you know, that is kind of intimidating to get a letter like that. And in that case, it wasn't even that he didn't have the business name registered, it's that the way he was advertising it was a little bit different than the way it was registered. So that's an important point, is advertise, you know, market the business under the official business name, and make sure you have it actually official to begin with by having it registered with your corporate registry. So something you should take seriously for a number of reasons. And hopefully this was helpful. If you like the video, please click like. If you have any similar questions on business management or startup, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. And you can check out my channel for other videos on business startup and management topics. I've got dozens of videos available.